Yemei Israel Tamut. What happened? Israel, who is Israel? Israel is Yaakov Avinu. He felt that his days are close. His days are numbered, and he is about to die. Vayikrevu Yemei Israel Tamut. The question is, how did he know? How Yaakov knew he is going to die? So Ramban says something very interesting. Ramban says there are certain feelings that a person feels. A person feels that he's missing something, some sort of energy he used to have his entire life. This special energy left him. In the language of Ramban, it's called Afisat Apochot Amuchletet. He felt like his powers, his energy left him completely. God, something is missing. And ביתרון החולשה, מה זה יתרון החולשה? Some sort of weakness.
Physically weakness. He feels like he's incapable to accomplish what he did till now. And when a person feels this way, he knows. He knows. ויקרבו ימי ישראל למות. And this is what happened to David HaMelech, that he says, הנה אנוכי הולך למות. How did he know? He felt it. He felt something left him, something that he had, some sort of energy, some sort of power or powers that he had his entire life. It left him. He's empty. It's not there. Bitrona Husha is so weak, impossible for him to do anything. So he knows that's it. This is the end. He's about to leave. And our sages explains it a little more. They explains as follows. Each person has a special light surrounding him. And this light gives him the energy, gives him the power. This light, it's a special light that comes from Hashem. And it's called in the language of the Torah, Tzel, or Tzelalim. We see it 2 times in the Torah. We see it when the Meraglim came back from touring in Israel. So Yoshua and Kalev told everybody, Sar Tzilam me'alehim, v'Hashem itanu al tiraum. What's called Tzel, their Tzel left them. This special Tzel, I don't know if it's a shade, it's not really a shade, but it's related to some sort of a shade maybe. That's what we call Hila in Hebrew. And this Hila, this Tzel, in the language of the Torah, we saw it's not there. Don't be scared. They were trying to calm them down. They were scared of the people in Eretz Canaan back then. And they were trying to calm them down and said, don't worry, we went there, we saw them, and we saw them missing this special Tzel. Sar Tzila me'aleim. This Tzel is not there anymore. So these people are going to die. Don't be scared of them. Hashem itanu, and Hashem is with us, so don't be afraid.
Who said this? Yeshua?
Yoshua and Kalev told it Bnei Israel. They realized, they saw how the Tzel left these people. And we see it also, עד שיפוח היום ונסו הצללים. יפוח היום is a day that comes that the neshama is nofachat, neshama leaves the person. ונסו הצללים. And the Tzel, this again we see the same idea. The Tzel is nas, is run away, it's not there anymore. I want to tell you, if I wouldn't see it with my own eyes, I wouldn't believe it. But I happened to see it with my own eyes. What happened? They developed in Israel a special camera with computer sensors that can picture this light around the person. Unbelievable. You're not going to believe it. I saw it with my own eyes. If you would tell me this story, I would tell you you're bluffing or they cheated you or something, some kind of a trick went over there, but I saw it with my own eyes. And I'll tell you what happened. They came to our building, to the rabbinical court in Queens, and they were trying to get our approval for this. So they were trying very much to show us the truth of how it's working. And they let us test this program as much as we wanted, which we did. And it's not only that you can see a light around the person, but also you can see different colors of light, and you can tell by the colors what kind of a person he is.
What's a good color?
A good color is more of white or light blue, and not such good colors as are like black or red. And we tested it. We took people there that they didn't see in their life. Yeah, these people who came to Queens, they never saw these people, but we know them. And we know this guy is very angry. Akshan, Kasan. So we call him in, come in, sit down. They're putting the hands on a special sensors, the sensor for 5 fingers, I guess. And the camera is on the face of the person. And then you're starting to see the light around him. And you see red. You see this guy is red all over. Wow. He's, we know he's action. We know he's stubborn and angry, and they don't know that. And you see the light around him. You see the light, but you see it's red and black and red and this and that. You hit some white, some blue, but you see the red is more dominant over there. And then we took someone else, which is the calmest person on earth that I know of. Real calm person. You're not going to see him getting angry, never. Very calm. And a true tzaddik. A person that really has nothing to do with this world, just learning and doing his kind, doing good to others, never hurt anybody, never insulted anybody. A real tzaddik, and looks very simple. You look at him from the outside, you can't tell anything about him. Very humble. Dresses very pashut. Doesn't look like a big rabbi or something. Comes across very simple Yehudi. And we call him and says, listen, we want to test something here. He himself didn't know what we're doing. Yeah, he's also a little run away. He's running away from all. He doesn't want to pay attention to what's going on around him. He wants to concentrate on learning and doing good. So we convinced him to sit and put a hand on these sensors. And the camera was facing him, but he didn't see the monitor. The monitor was in his back. We were standing there watching the monitor. The camera was facing him. And you're not going to believe. As soon as the camera hit him, you saw a huge white light around him. It wasn't enough. We gave him Tehillim, and we told him, listen, start to read Tehillim. 2, 3, 5 minutes, read Tehillim. So he started to read Tehillim, and you can see he's reading Tehillim. He doesn't know what's going on around him. He doesn't know why we're asking him to do these things. And the guys who are taking the pictures also don't know who we're dealing with. So they can cheat. They can put a certain light in this person and another light in another person. They don't know who we're dealing with. And as long he was reading, but the minutes, you would see how the light around him is getting stronger and brighter and stronger and brighter. In 5 minutes, you could see like a huge light around this person. He's reading Tehillim. I saw it with my own eyes, how the light is different between different people, and you can tell by the colors of the light what kind of a person he is. And for this tzaddik, you saw something that you didn't see in anybody else. The light was completely white and bright, and as he was reading Tehillim more and more, you saw the light get stronger and brighter. And then they showed us pictures which they took before. One of the examples was a picture of Rav Mordechai Eliyahu, the former chief rabbi of Israel. He passed away a few years ago. Before he passed away, they took his picture. The story I'm telling you happened a few years ago. They came to us a few years ago. It didn't happen recently. So they took the pictures back then when Rav Mordechai Eliyahu was still with us. And they took the picture for him dressing, putting the tzitzit on. talit, מתעטף בציצית. And you saw him before, you took 3 pictures, one before the tzitzit, and one as he was putting the tzitzit, and one after the tzitzit was on, and you would see clearly different colors on the picture. How is a tzaddik? So you see a light around him, but as he's doing the mitzvah, the light gets stronger, and while the tzitzit is on him, you see a huge light that he didn't see before. Even same person, but doing something, reading a newspaper. We tested that too. We gave someone to read a newspaper, and he's reading, and nothing happened. You see the light is like same nebach, like some dim, very dim, and dark light kind of. Yeah? Unbelievable. And then, and this is the most remarkable part of the story, they showed us a picture of a person. They took his picture, and there was no light at all around him. It was dark, completely dark.
What does that mean?
What does that mean? They themselves didn't know what it means. So they followed up with this person to see what's happening. Sure enough, this guy passed away within 30 days to the picture.
Wow, I just got the chills.
שר צילם.
עד שיפוח היום ונסו הצללים. This is what called the tzel. This is a special hila, a special light. It's called tzel in the Torah, surrounding the person. And when this tzel leaves, a person feels that he's missing something huge from his powers, from his energy, from his source of life. Something is missing, and he knows his days are numbered, and he's about to be passed away. And that's how the tzaddikim felt it. ויקרבו ימי ישראל למות. How did he know? He felt it. And that's what Ramban explains. That's called אפיסת הכוחות ויתרון החולשה. הכוחות שלנו לעשות, our powers to do, our powers to accomplish, to achieve, left him. He feels like he's not there, he's not anymore, he's not the same anymore. This is what happened with Moshe Rabbeinu the last day before he passed away. And Chazal says that Hashem did it purposely with Moshe Rabbeinu to make it easier for him to be transferred. He didn't want to die, Moshe Rabbeinu. He was arguing, trying to stay alive, and Hashem made him feel like this is it. He has no more powers. And when he felt that he has no more powers, then he wanted to go, because he felt he has nothing to do here anymore. That's it. That is שר צילה מעליהם, that's ויקרבו ימי ישראל. I'm going to tell you a story that happened with my first cousin. And this is a story that many people heard about it when it happened. It was a big tragedy. A guy in Israel from Ashdod who got married at 21 years old and had a baby a year later, passed away on the day of his son's brit. Before he had a chance to do the brit for his son, that morning he passed away. And they had to do the funeral, to bury him, and to come back from the funeral to do the brit for his son. You can imagine what emotions this family went through. My father was there. I was in America when that happened. My father was there, my brothers, my siblings, they were there at that time. And I saw it on a video. They took a video and sent it to me. What happened? This guy passed away suddenly. But the widow, his wife, she's our relative. She's my first cousin. And she told us the story. We were so shaky from the story. She said the guy knew he's going. He kept talking to her about it. And she didn't understand why he was talking and what he was saying. But he was very clear with her. And it started like this, that suddenly he felt that time is running for him. There's no more time. He tells her there's no more time. She says, what do you mean there's no more time? He says, you don't understand. You don't understand. There's no more time. And he stopped. He used to learn in yeshiva. Yeshiva was far away. He had to travel for half an hour. He stopped traveling because he said, traveling, it's wasting of time. I'm going to go learn here. Nearby was another Bet Midrash next door, and he went there to learn. He wanted to save the time of traveling. And then he told her, listen, he had a dream. That happened too. In dreams, a lot of times, HaKadosh Baruch Hu is delivering messages to the person. Not always. Most of the dreams are nonsense. But some of them happen to be a true dream. Halom echad mishishim b'nevuah, as the Gemara says in Brachot. This is Halom Yosef, Halom Paro. This is the Parashiyot. Halom Yaakov. They had a dream, and their dream was a big dream. So he had a dream too. And he in his dream, he's not going to be in his son's brit. He had a dream that he's not going to be in his son's brit. So he tells it to his wife. He's all worried. He tells it to her. They're going to different rabbanim in Eretz Israel, and the rabbanim are trying to calm him down and say you should pray and do tefillot and don't pay attention so much. They didn't know it's a real dream, but it happened to be it was a true dream. And he told her he knows this is a true dream. He feels that this is it. He feels it. She was begging him to stop, but he said, "I have to tell you the truth." He feels that this is it. It's the days for him are numbered, and he's about to leave. He's not going to stay. He was begging her to raise their son before he was born. He was begging her, says, "Were you going to have a boy?" She didn't know. He says, "We're going to have a boy," and he's not going to be in his brit. And he's begging her to raise him as a true Jew, to raise him for Torah and Yirat Shamayim. And she was crying to him. She was, "Why are you saying this? What are you talking about?" And he said he cannot explain, but he had the dream, and he feels that this is true, and he feels that this is going to happen. And you know what happened? I'll tell you what happened. The day of the Brit was a regular day. He got up early in the morning. He went to the mikveh. He used to go to the mikveh from time to time. He went that day to the mikveh. He thought he's going to be after a mikveh in his son's Brit. He came back from Shacharit. He went to Shacharit in the morning to Bet HaKnesset. He came back from Bet HaKnesset. He put his tefillin in the cabinet, and they called him to the kitchen to have some breakfast before the Brit. Brit was supposed to be 11 o'clock in the morning. That was 8 o'clock in the morning. On his way from the bedroom to the kitchen, he fell. They heard the boom, the havata that he fell. They ran over to him. It was too late already. He was not there. They called Hatzalah, they called this, and they came. They said, "There's nothing to do." He passed away just like that. He was telling before that something's going to happen. He knew himself what's going to happen. He felt it. He knew. Somehow, I can't explain you exactly how. We know a little bit about it. We just learned a little bit about it. But this young man, and 21, 22 years old, it's such a strong feeling. He didn't know it's going to be in his son's, that day, he knew he's not going to be in his son's Brit. He knew it's going to happen to him that day, he just knew he's not going to be in the Brit. This is more of a regular knowledge that a person is about to be transferred.
Everybody feels it, or only feels
Everybody feels it different ways. The neshama feels it. Some are more aware of what they feel, some are less aware of what they feel, but people are feeling it. People are feeling it. And you know what it tells us? It tells us that here is not the most important. Here it's just a prosdor, it's a hallway. It's a place to pass by. But the real place, it's the next place. This is what it tells us. And we're here not for being here. And that's why when a person gets to his most comfortable days, then he leaves. Think about it. When he gets to know this world the most, when he gets to enjoy this world the most, now he has grandchildren and he's already in pension, he doesn't have to work hard, and he's comfortable, mortgage is paid usually by that time, and he doesn't need to run so much to do and to make a living. He's getting comfortable here, and it's time to stay. And when he gets comfortable, then he lives. If a person was meant to stay here, or if the goal was this place, So why he gets to leave when he's starting to get good and comfortable? But the truth is, that's not the real place. Here it's a place to collect. To collect what? To collect, we will learn that in Ben Ish Chai also, to collect what's called the holy sparks. Okay? When a person does a mitzvah, when a person eats something, and he says a bracha before, and with the power of this bracha, he gets to collect a holy spark from what is eating. When a person gets up in the morning and says Modeh Ani, and put the tefillin and put a tzitzit, he gets to collect koach kedusha, which is going to light his neshama, and that is what goes with a person once he leaves this place. That's what he takes with him. Person does not take from here no money, no properties, no real estate, no assets, nothing. You know, one guy was a wise guy. He said he's taking everything with him. In his will, he commanded to sell everything he had, houses, buildings, and to put everything in diamond and to bury it with him. He wanted to take it with him. You know what happened? The next day, in the newspapers, the front page, a robbery in the cemetery. People heard that one. This is what his will was. They robbed his cabin. Yeah? So even קבורה כמו בן אדם לא היה לו, because he was a wise guy. חיללו את הקבר שלו. A person cannot take anything with him. What can he take with him? He takes with him mitzvot. What a person eat here, the food that we eat here, we cannot take with us. But the bracha that we do before we eat, that we take with us. That stays with the neshama. The bracha that we do after we finish eating, that stays with us. So we ate, we had a good meal, we enjoyed the meal. We're saying thank you to Hashem before, and we're saying thank you to Hashem after, and that is what we're taking with us. And Hashem says, "Mi kdimani v'asharim." It's so sweet. I'm giving you everything, and I'm telling you, I'm asking from you a little bit from what I'm giving you, and you know, you're going to give me a little bit from what I'm giving you, and I'm going to reward you for that. It's like a father who gives his son a whole package of chocolate, and he's asking, "Oh, son, can you give me a piece? Give me a piece of chocolate." And this little kid goes to his father and gives him a piece of chocolate, and the father is giving him a hug and a kiss and says, "Oh, you're such a sweet boy." How did he get the chocolate? His father gave him the chocolate. Now he's asking for a piece just to reward him further. This is what Hashem is doing with us. Hashem is giving us everything. He's providing us with everything. He's providing us with livelihood, with energy, with wisdom, with health, with food, with everything we need. And then he's asking from us a little bit. Give me a second before you eat and say a bracha, and I'm going to reward you for that. Say another bracha after you finished eating, and I'm going to reward you for that too. You give me a half an hour in the morning praying and half an hour in the evening praying, and I'm going to reward you for that. I'm giving you 24 hours a day. Give me 2 out of 24. I'll reward you for that. Exactly what a father does with his little kid. It's sweet. And Hashem is treating us like spoiled boys, spoiled kids. This generation, we have what no one knew before. Talk to your father, is going to tell you. Talk to your grandfather, is going to tell you even better. Yeah? Everyone knows what happened before. Life was so different. We were missing so. They were missing so much, right? They were missing. I don't know if they were missing. They were better. Yeah. With this technology, we're wanting to make it more comfortable for us, but it makes us want more and more and more and more. You think, oh, I'm going to get this computer or this phone, and then it's going to be easier. I'm trying to make my life easier, but then you have to work more and to work harder and to have more money because you need to this, you need that, you need this, you need that. So many things we need. Before it was so simple. We didn't need so much. And life was easier and simple, and you don't have to want so much. But you know what it is? I'll tell you what it is. We have a mission here, and Yetzirah is trying to distract us from this mission. And the distraction is, if it's going to be the same as it was before, we're going to be smart. We're not going to fall. We know that that's his strategy, and that's how he's trying to pull us from the right way. So we will win. So you know what he does? Every generation, something new comes up. And these days, since it's so close to the end, so every 6 months, there's something new comes up. Huh? iPhone S, 4S, 5, 6, iPad this, iPad that, iPad this. Every 6 months, another thing. Oh, wow, look what happened. Think about what came out 2 years ago. It's interesting. No one looks at that, right? This is old. If you see someone this, it's old-fashioned. Old-fashioned. Every 6 months we have to change. We have to run. But the truth is, this old things comes up every 6 months, just distracting us from to focus on what we really are for. What's the real reason we're here for? Why are we here for? And this is the real reason is to have more Torah and to get connection to Hashem, to be connected to Hashem in this world. It's not a big deal to be connected to Hashem in the spiritual world. The big deal is to get connected to Hashem in this physical, with this materialism around us, with this high-tech around us, with these old distractions that we have. We're still concentrating and focusing on staying connected to Hashem, staying connected to Judaism, staying connected to Torah, to Torah life, to the mitzvot, to the tzitzit, to the tefillin. Take the tzitzit with you wherever you go. Keep the tzitzit on you wherever you go. This is taking Hashem with you and remembering Hashem. This is what the whole story is about. Even with this physical world, to remember the goal, to remember the mission, to remember what we're here for. That's a big deal, especially this generation. And a little bit of the person does this generation, it's considered like a lot. As if he did like Rabbi Akiva in his days. Not I'm saying that. Hari HaKadosh said that. Hari HaKadosh says in the end of the days, this is a small step that a person does, it's worth like a horse run, what they did. Person gets up in the morning and just remembering to say Modeh Ani, to wash his hands, it's already a big deal. It is a big deal. It's something big. It's powerful. It's more powerful than they did it before. Why? Because then they didn't have the same test as we have. Our test is much stronger. It's a true test what we're going through here.
Wait, so why are people now suffering more? Yeah, people like religious people are getting cancer, divorces. They're doing a lot. They're still doing a lot of mitzvot. I mean, not tzaddikim, but everything is so. If everything is
suffering is not necessarily a punishment. Suffering, I don't know a reason why we're suffering. We cannot. Maybe we'll speak about suffering next week, or we'll pick a time for that. It's a whole topic to talk about. Just to give you a little bit, suffering can be for various reasons. For instance, to pay for what he did before, when he was here in previous life. That's one of the reasons. Sometimes suffering is to increase the reward for this person. And sometimes it's to atone for the sins he have committed before in his life. Many reasons why they are suffering. And sometimes it looks to us like it's suffering, but it's really for good. And it could be, I feel that in most cases, that's the way it is.
It's not what it seems.
Huh?
No, it's not what it seems.
It's not what it seems. Let me prove it to you. You have a little brother?
No, I'm the eldest.
You're the youngest. But you remember yourself 2 or 3 years old, 5 years old, remember. And then when your father hit you by the hand when you ran to the road, you felt like it's the end of the world, right? But now you know. Running to the road is dangerous. When you're going to have kids, Be'ezrat Hashem, you're going to know it. You're going to feel better. Sometimes you're trying to prevent a kid from doing something wrong, that it's dangerous for him or it's bad for him. He doesn't understand. At that point, he cries and screams, and he feels like he can swear that his father hates him, and then it's such a terrible life. Okay? So at some point, some kids can be so traumatic. Why? because he was trying to stick something in the electricity outlet, and you took it away from him. He said, "Don't do this. This is dangerous." And he cries and screams and cries and cries and feels horrible and says, "Abba is mean to me, and Abba is mean to me." Yeah. But we know what it is. What it is?
Protection.
The Father is good for him. He's the best for him. If he wouldn't do it for him, he would die. He would hurt himself. Yeah? That's exactly what Hashem is doing with us. And Hazal teaches us that we should learn from our relationship with our children or our relationship with our parents to Hashem's relationship with us and our relationships with Hashem. Not for no reason Hashem gave us these feelings and emotions and this kind of relationship.
What does an orphan do?
But
You don't.
it has a whole other level of connection with Hashem, whole other level of a reward from Hashem that others doesn't. And for an orphan, I tell you what, one of the most famous orphans in the Talmud said about himself, Abaye. Abaye, he was an orphan. When his mother got pregnant, his father passed away, and when she delivered him, she passed away, his mother passed away. He grew up with no father, no mother, and he said, Ashrei mi shelo ra'a ota. It's so hard to do kibud avayim that if a person didn't see his parents, it's good for him. Good for him he didn't see his parents. It's so hard to fulfill the mitzvah of kibud avayim.
The guy that you said was an angry person. He said
Yeah, with a picture. Yeah.
So that guy, he used to do mitzvot also? Or
Yeah. Was you look at him on the outside, you say he's a big rabbi. You look at the other person, you say he's a simple guy. But the light in the computer was the opposite. We knew both of them. We know this guy is not a big rabbi. He just looks like one, with a big beard and dresses like a rabbi, but is not. The other guy who dresses simple, he's a big tzaddik. They couldn't tell. These people who came for us to test them didn't know. And it happened to be correct. It's very interesting. So you hear that song for all of us to be zochim, to concentrate on our real mission, Be'ezrat Hashem, not to be distracted as much. Impossible not to be distracted completely, but not to be distracted as much, to stay focused, to take Hashem with us wherever we go, and to stay with Hashem wherever we go. And then Hashem will be with us and give us blessing in everything we do. Be zochim לגאולה שלמה במהרה בימינו, אמן ואמן. וחמה כאשר אומר רצה הקדוש ברוך הוא לצדקות ישראל לפי רבי התורה ומצוות שנאמר, אדוני החפץ למען צדקו, יגדיל תורה ויאדיר. גדל